We live in an age of unprecedented abundance. We have more food, more information, more entertainment, and more personal freedom than any generation in human history. Yet a quiet epidemic of confusion and existential dread seems to be spreading. Why is it that with more maps than ever, we feel so profoundly lost? Modern psychology offers us invaluable tools. It has given us names for our struggles: anxiety, depression. Burnout provides techniques to manage them. CBT, mindfulness, medication. These are crucial and effective for treating specific mental ailments. But what if the feeling of being lost isn't just a symptom of a disorder to be cured? What if it's a symptom of something deeper, a spiritual disorientation that psychology, by its very nature, is not fully equipped to address? Psychology often focuses on helping us adjust to the world, to function better within the system. It helps us fix the broken parts of our ego, the personal self that navigates daily life. But what if the problem isn't just a broken part, but the very nature of the self we are trying to fix? This is where a 2,500-year-old wisdom tradition, Taoism, speaks with startling clarity. It suggests that our fundamental sense of being lost doesn't stem from a lack of direction, but from a fundamental misidentification. We are not lost in the world. We are lost from our own nature. The Taoist text, the Zhuangzi, presents a powerful parable. The frog in the well cannot be talked with about the sea because he is limited by the space he lives in. Our modern mindset, with its relentless focus on achievement, consumption, and the curated self, is the well. We are so busy measuring the walls of our well, comparing our well to others on social media, and worrying about climbing higher in the well, that we have forgotten the vast, open sea of our original consciousness. A young professional from Seoul, Jihan, once confided that despite achieving every milestone, he set a prestigious degree, a high-paying job, he felt a hollow emptiness. Therapy helped him manage his work stress, but it didn't fill the void. He said, "It felt like I was perfectly solving equations, but I was in the wrong subject." This wrong subject is the realm of the acquired mind, the domain of Qigong we discussed before. We are masterfully navigating a world of names and forms, while completely disconnected from the formless essence that gives it meaning. Psychology excels at helping us read the map. Taoism, however, invites us to question if we are even looking at the right territory. It proposes that the root of our disorientation is not a lack of willpower or faulty thinking patterns, but a disconnection from the Tao, underlying natural order of the universe and our own being. If the feeling of being lost stems from a disconnection from the Tao, what does this disconnection look like in our daily lives? Taoism identifies it as the dominance of the acquired mind, the realm of Qigong, which operates on two fundamental yet exhausting principles: forced action and artificial living. The core of the problem, as outlined in the Taoist art of Wu, is not inaction, but action that is misaligned. We live in a state of Yue, forced, striving, and calculating action. It's the constant effort to make things happen according to our personal will, our limited understanding, and our socially conditioned desires. We force ourselves to network, to chase promotions, to maintain a certain image, to optimize every aspect of our lives. This is the engine of our Qigong, and it is perpetually fueled by the swinging pendulum of yin and yang energy within our minds, craving success and fearing failure, clinging to pleasure and avoiding pain. This forced action leads to the second symptom, the loss of Ziren. This pivotal Taoist concept is often translated as naturalness or spontaneity, but it doesn't mean impulsivity. Ziren is the expression of our authentic, uncorrupted nature. The way a tree grows toward the sun or a river flows around rocks effortlessly, purposefully, and in perfect harmony with its environment. It is the manifestation of the Taoist art of being. Modern life, with its rigid schedules, societal expectations, and digital personas, systematically trains us out of our zero. We learn to perform, to please, to achieve. We become experts at crafting a self for the marketplace, while our authentic self, the one that knows how to rest, to play, to create without an agenda, to simply be, atrophies from neglect. This is why the advice to just be yourself feels so hollow. For many, the self referred to is a confusing construct, not the serene and spontaneous essence of Xiren. Psychology might help Anja manage her anxiety through breathing techniques and cognitive Taoism, however, would propose a more radical prescription to stop the race entirely. Not to quit her job, but to quit the internal struggle. It would guide her to rediscover the Taoist secrets of love, for her own true nature, to begin the process of Taoist alchemy, transforming the lead of her striving ego into the gold of her spontaneous spirit. This is not about fixing the person in the race, but about waking up to the fact that the race itself is the illusion. The Taoist prescription may sound radical, but its application is profoundly practical. It is not an escape from life, but a homecoming to it. The path to overcoming that fundamental sense of being lost is to consciously practice Wu Wei and cultivate Xiren. This is not a weekend workshop, but a fundamental reorientation of how we engage with existence. Wu Wei is often the most misunderstood concept. It is not passive lethargy or simply going with the flow in a resigned manner. True Wu Wei is effective action that arises from a state of inner alignment with the Tao. It is action that feels effortless, not because no energy is expended, but because it is not fueled by egoic striving, fear, or forced willpower. It is the difference between trying to push a river and learning to swim with its current. How do we practice this? We start by creating pockets of non-doing in our day. This is the foundation of Taoist alchemy. It could be 5 minutes of sitting in silence, not to achieve a blank mind, but to simply observe the breath and the chatter of the Qigong without getting entangled. It is in these moments of quiet observation that the compulsive grip of the acquired mind begins to loosen, allowing glimpses of the serene Xingguanga, our essential nature, to appear. 4-day body practices like Tai Chi for beginners or Qigong are unparalleled. They are moving meditations that teach Wu Wei physically. You learn to move with relaxed awareness, coordinating breath and movement without force. A teacher in Vancouver, Liam, found that his daily Tai Chi exercises became a laboratory for Wu Wei. In trying to get the form right, I was always tense, he shared. When I finally stopped trying and just allowed my body to follow the energy, the movements became fluid and powerful. That lesson to stop forcing started to seep into my work and relationships, cultivating Xiren. Our natural spontaneity requires a different approach. It asks us to engage in useless beauty. It is the intentional act of doing something for its own sake, with no goal of productivity, social media content, or self-improvement. It is walking in the park without a step-counting goal. It is cooking a meal simply for the joy of the aromas and textures. It is doodling without the intention of creating art. These acts are rebellions against the tyranny of utility. They are exercises in remembering what it feels like to be a human being, not a human doing. This reconnection to the Taoist art of being has a ripple effect. As we practice Wu Wei, our actions become more efficient and timely because they are no longer hindered by the friction of our ego. As we cultivate Xiren, our creativity and joy begin to resurface, not as something we chase, but as a natural expression of who we are. The yin and yang energy within us ceases to be a source of violent swings and starts to find its own harmonious balance. The feeling of being lost begins to dissipate, not because we have found a new, better map, but because we have remembered that we are the territory. The goal is not to become a perfect, enlightened being who never struggles, but to become like the bamboo rooted in the earth, grounded in reality, yet hollow and flexible enough to bend with the winds of change without breaking. This is the ultimate Taoist secret of love, a profound friendship with life itself, in all its effortless, spontaneous, and mysterious flow.